Hello everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. Now when we think about the end of World War I, we commonly think of the Treaty of Versailles being the kind of catalyst for leading to World War II, a very horrible and a harsh treaty. However, this is not the case in terms of a global international scale, because there was another treaty after the First War that was indeed the worst, at least on record and statistically, compared to the Treaty of Versailles, and that was the Treaty of Sèvres, which was released upon the Ottoman Empire, later Turkey. So in this YouTube video, I'm going to talk about how that treaty was, short, long-term consequences, and how it was actually worse than the Treaty of Versailles. So on the 9th of November, by the 9th of November 1918, the Ottomans had declared their surrender to the Allies, and of course on the 11th of November 1918, the armistice was signed. So in 1919, the Treaty of Sèvres was made. This basically completely dismantled the Ottoman Empire into a much smaller area, only about 80% the size of modern Turkey, and Armenia would become an independent country, and Greece, Italy, France and Britain would all gain new colonies. Well, not for Greece's case, they just gained more territory, Constantinople specifically, but for Italy, France and Britain, who already had empires, they would gain more colonies. However, Turkey was still pretty full of strength from this treaty. They definitely still had arms to spare. Germany had given them a lot, and unlike our countries like Germany and Austria, in treaties of Versailles, Trianon, Germain and Neuilly, Turkey was not it didn't need to disarm. It still could have all of its arms. So it was pretty clear that the Turkish were not going to accept the Treaty of Sèvres. On the 19th of May 1919, the Turkish War of Independence began. So yeah, that war to end all wars did not even last a year until humans were back fighting again. I guess we'll have better luck next time. So yeah, 19th of May 1919, the Turkish War of Independence began. It was basically just to kind of completely remove, I guess you could say foreigners, a bit like the Boxer Rebellion in China. It was also to remove and grant Turkey its own independence as a proper state, the only country in history to gain independence from itself, which is interesting as well. So yes, in terms of the Turkish did fight the Greeks pretty well. However, there was slight problems with Italy. They did still fight on because Italy was quite destined because it had quite a small empire. Britain and France were actually surprisingly not too much trouble. They did keep to their Mesopotamia and Syrian colonies and weren't too fussed about properly going into Turkey, because of course the Russian Empire, which would have had territory in that newly independent Armenia, was currently fighting its own civil war. So they already gained more territory. They were quite happy, with Britain's case. I mean, they've gained South-West Africa, East Africa, etc. They've gained a lot more colonies. Even the British are not going to completely invade Turkey. They just posted a few troops along the border of Mesopotamia and Turkey, and that was it. On the 24th of July 1923, the war did come to an end, and Turkey was given independence. It did gain its modern-day borders as it did now, and Mustafa Kemal became its first ever Prime Minister, and he is modernly known as the father of the Turks. So what was really the Treaty of Sèvres in the long term? Well, in the long term, the Treaty of Sèvres, the British only really got what they wanted, as well as the French, because they had their new colonies. Palestine was still under British rule, which of course many Turks were not, and much of the Muslim peninsula in the Middle East, Arabia, of course, they just formed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, also not happy about the creation of a Jewish state and the fact that it was also under British rule in territory that used to be theirs, and in the Saudi Arabians' case, wanted to be theirs. However, the modern Middle East was born. Palestine, the Palestinian territory, in modern terms, the Palestinian territory, Israel, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, all owe their borders to the Treaty of Sèvres, which continue to cause conflict today. I mean, it's pretty clear that the British did make a bit of a mess in the Middle East with the Treaty of Sèvres. However, unfortunately, the side effects of it are still felt today. So in the long term, I would pretty confidently say that the Treaty of Sèvres did cause longer lasting tensions. However, to be fair, unlike the Treaty of Versailles, after 1923, there was no real, like in Germany's case with the rise of fascism and the KPD, etc., there was no kind of need for more war or desire to properly fight back the Allies. The Turkish realised that in the War of Independence, that kind of just got it over with. It of course did see pretty high death toll still, and it was pretty clear that although World War I was over, there was definitely going to be war to come in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to make this little video because, of course, I think video needs to be made. I mean, these are why I make these videos, because, of course, It's nice to talk about parts of history that I'm passionate about, what I'm not often spoken about in other YouTube videos. So it's quite nice that we've done this one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Goodbye.